news up here at this hour. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana and on DSTV's channel 279. My name is George Queenie. Top of the stories this hour. Lands Minister condemns attack on Naimos tax force as he calls for swift investigation after meeting Interior Minister and Speaker of Parliament. Upper East Police Command on manhunt for unknown assailants who ambushed immigration officers in Garotempani, leaving one dead. Also coming up this morning, State Housing Company Limited to chase clients who are indebted to the tune of over 200 million cedis. We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes. If you spend your time with me, you can also get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Let's begin from here. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Kofi-Boa, has condemned the attack on members of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat NAMOS during an operation at Boni Krom near Shidiem in the Ahafo region. The NAMOS team was attacked on Saturday by irate youth numbering over 500 after arresting some persons engaged in illegal mining.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, in a statement, said the Minister, Ama Kofi-Boa, has held separate meetings with the Speaker of Parliament and the Minister for the Interior to ensure swift and rigorous investigations into the incident which occurred on Saturday, November 1st, 2025. The ministry says the move underscores government's commitment to holding accountable all individuals who aid, support, or front illegal mining activities and those who obstruct law enforcement officers in the line of duty. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyohono, has directed the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters to take over the case. According to reports, the NIMOS team, while on an anti-galamsey operation near Boni Krom, came under attack from a group allegedly incited by the Member of Parliament for Asutifi North, Ebenezer Kwekuado. Security reinforcement from the Ahafo Regional Police Command and the military later restored calm with the support of the Zongo Chief of Shidiem, who helped mediate the situation. In a related development, the Member of Parliament for Asutifi North, at the center of allegations, Ebenezer Kwekuado, has denied inciting resident against security personnel. In a statement issued on November 3rd, 2025, Ebenezer Kwekuado assured constituent and the public of his commitment to law and order, public safety, and cooperation with all security agencies.
Another police management board led by the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyohono, is spearheading reforms aimed at improving the welfare and professional development of junior police personnel. The representative for junior ranks on the Ghana Police Service Council, Chief Inspector Angel Lolo, has embarked on a nationwide tour to gather concerns and suggestions from junior officers to inform policy decisions and enhance service conditions.
The tour, part of efforts to strengthen participatory leadership within the Ghana Police Service, provided Chief Inspector Lulu the platform to interact directly with frontline officers across all 25 regional police commands. His engagement focused on assessing the adequacy of welfare provisions and identifying ways to create clearer career progression pathways for junior personnel. Sanctioned by the Inspector General of Police and the Police Management Board, the initiative underscores a renewed commitment to ensuring that the voices of rank-and-file officers are heard at the highest levels of police administration.
It's a privilege to have a personal interactions with you. Of late, there's so many complaints within the service. If a junior officer has complaint to make, the traditional mode of complaint, these are all challenges facing the administration. This duty was assigned by the council, the Inspector General of Police, and the POMA members to tour all the 25 administrative regions to elicit for information, grievances, concern, suggestions to see the way forward.
Chief Inspector Lulu urged junior officers to channel their grievances through the established internal structures for redress, ensuring them of management's commitment to continuous improvement. Some junior officers described the IGP's initiative as timely and commendable, noting it is a novelty in the service's management approach.
This is my first time of this thing being decentralized because I've never seen it before. So it is a plus for us.
It's actually the very first time. I've been in the service for some time, and this is the first time I have seen a rep on the junior ranks or for the junior ranks going around the whole of the country, asking your views, soliciting ideas, getting your comments about things that bother you. For me, this is a very, very big initiative, and we need to give a thumbs up to the IGP and the police administration.
Findings from the nationwide tour are expected to inform strategic recommendations to the Police Council and guide reforms aimed at enhancing welfare, motivation and professional growth within the service.
Now, Germany will invest some 65 million euros in Ghana's economy as it seeks new partnership for growth and development. The visiting German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier announced this after holding bilateral talks with President John Dramani Mahama.
The German leader's three-day state visit, described by both head of state as a significant milestone, focused on strengthening cooperation in areas such as trade, renewable energy, vocational training, and regional security. Addressing the media, President John Mahama expressed great satisfaction with the current state of the Ghana-Germany relations, which have flourished since the formal establishment of diplomatic ties in 1957.
I invite Germany to share Ghana's strong commitment to multilateralism, the United Nations system, the World Trade Organization, and international law. We will urge all nations to resist the lure of economic nationalism and to collaborate in reforming, not dismantling, the institutions that unite us as a globe.
He also briefed the German counterpart of Ghana's economic recovery efforts under the Reset in Ghana agenda.
I reaffirmed Ghana's strong dedication to creating an enabling environment to attract more German private sector investment, particularly within the framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is headquartered here in Accra.
President Steinmeier highlighted the robust trade relationship between the two countries, which saw a high trade volume in the previous year. He described Ghana as an attractive business location and an important hub for the region.
Together we're working to lay the foundation for a sustainable economic development that will benefit Ghana, but I hasten to add it will also benefit Germany. And I'm happy to say that today we've also been able to bring good news, good tidings, that of course pending on the approval of the German Parliament, the Bundestag that is, Germany will again commit more than 65 million euro to Ghana in the framework of our development cooperation.
On regional issues, the two leaders held open discussions on the growing threats of terrorism and political instability in the Sahel region. The German head of state will visit Kumasi on Tuesday, where he will break the ground for the expansion of a vocational training center and visit the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research in Tropical Medicine, among others.
Away from the presidency, the Court of Appeal has dismissed applications by lawyers representing former National Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Adubuahin and his wife in one case, as well as lawyers for the former CEO of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, GIF, in the Accra SkyTrain criminal trial. The applications sought to overturn High Court rulings on further disclosures of documents. Here's a News Desk report by Lord Idwasari.
In the 49.1 million Ghana cedi case involving former National Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Adubuahin, defense lawyers led by Samuel Atachian prayed the Court of Appeal to quash the High Court ruling which refused the application to compel the Attorney General to disclose NSB accounts spanning from 1992. They argued that the Attorney General has selectively disclosed matters bordering on national security to advance the case while omitting crucial details which necessitated the motion. A three-member panel of justices, however, held that The applicants failed to demonstrate any exceptional circumstances to warrant granting their request, which lacked merit. In a related matter involving the Accra SkyTrain criminal trial, lawyers of the first accused, Solomon Asamoah, prayed the Court of Appeal to overturn the High Court decision, which dismissed the application for the prosecution to further disclose exculpatory documents. The documents contain minutes of the board and investment committee meetings between 2017 to 2021, as well as email correspondence between himself and members of the board. The court dismissed the application as lacking merit.
Still on legal matters, the Attorney General has filed a notice of withdrawal of charges against Edward Akwaku, the General Manager of Akonta Mining Company Limited. And Edward Akwaku, the fourth accused person, is together with the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Mpiboesianko, aka Wuntumi, facing multiple charges of undertaking a mining operation without a license, feeling and abating the felling of trees in a forest reserve without written authority from the competent forest authority. They have pleaded not guilty and are currently on bail. Two others, Kwame Entry and Kojo Supapra, are on the run. And Edward Akwaku has been charged for his alleged role in mining in the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve without a license and purposely facilitation the unauthorized felling of over 300 merchantable trees and unquantifiable saplings in the same forest reserve. Government is set to reduce the 1,070 cedis regulatory fee for court services in a bid to ease the financial burden on operators and improve compliance within the sector. Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George, at a Public Accounts Committee, disclosed that the revised courier registration fee will be captured in the new fees and charges bill to be presented to Parliament. Take a listen.
Let us be clear. We would instill enforcement of the laws for courier services. We can't have a situation where we've had instances where people have ordered food, for example, and the food arrives and the meat on the food has been eaten. You know, people order things and courier companies do not deliver them in the manner in which they ought to. So we need to have some regulation of the space. And you can only enforce this in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service. We've put a moratorium till the end of the year for everyone to get themselves licensed, either as an independent operator or under a fleet management operation certification. Because many of these young men who do courier services, but for that job, will be unemployed and will pose a security risk to our country. So we've spoken to them and said, instead of charging, was what, 1,070 Ghana cedis to register in one go, we've decided that we're giving them a 50% moratorium on the 1,000 Ghana cedi to allow proper uptake.
Are they under the Fees and Charges Act? If they are they supposed to charge that amount for?
It's been approved under the Fees and Charges, and so we're working to drop it in the current fees and charges that will come, and that's why we've put a moratorium on enforcement, and then said that once we are able to pass the new fees in the first 3 months of next year, we would expect that all of them do the needful and register. Enforcement, we announced, will start on the 1st of April 2026.
Well, let's know what you make of the new prices for the courier and delivery operators. We are active on Facebook. Engage us now. Now, the State Housing Company Limited is aggressively pursuing an undisclosed number of clients who owe the nation's builder in excess of 200 million cedis. According to the Managing Director, John S. Bauer, failure for clients to pay their debts has weakened the company's ability to deliver on Ghana's housing promise. These debts include ground rent payment, land regularization fees, lease renewals, and various charges, some dating as far back as 2019. In a good year, the State Housing Company Limited generates in excess of 90 million cedis annually through its estate management services in the Greater Accra region alone. Now, it is making below 50 million cedis because of non-payment, and that is making the housing agenda quite impossible to execute.
These obligations are simply not administrative. They are the foundation upon which the company sustains its operations and enables us to guarantee your peace of mind in owning and enjoying your property. It also finances our ability to invest in the expansion of housing opportunities for these generations and future generations.
The Nations Builder is offering these defaulters a 15% discount and up to December to make outstanding payments in full as part of measures to collect a debt.
The 15% discount applies to the following categories of payments: ground rent, land regularization, consent to develop, assign, mortgage and gift, lease renewal, and service charges and arrears. Please note, this discount does not apply to house sales. Once this window closes on December 31st, 2025, the company will resume the application of full penalties, interest, and enforcement measures to recover all unpaid financial obligations.
The nationwide revenue mobilization campaign will also offer the platform for clients to be educated on their total payment obligations and consequences of default. Ghana's housing deficit is currently pegged as about 2 million. Without timely payment, the State Housing Company Limited's ability to deliver on Ghana's housing promise could be in jeopardy. In more news this morning, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection says robust implementation mechanisms are required to push any agenda aimed at advancing gender equality and social justice. Agnes Namomolate made this remark at the validation meeting on the Affirmative Action Regulation 2025 in Accra. The crucial validation meeting was of purpose and optimism, according to the Sector Minister, Agnes Namomolate. The passage of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2004 dismantled the systematic barriers hindering the progress of women and other underrepresented groups for generations. Inputs were made into the draft Affirmative Action Regulation 2025. The Committee on Gender, Children and Social Welfare praised efforts advancing these gains and building on existing ones.
We are deeply interested in assuring that the spirit and intent of the Act, namely to accelerate women's participation in decision-making, leadership, and public life, is not lost in transition.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomolate, spoke on the importance of the meeting.
The full implementation of the Affirmative Action Act, guided by this regulation, is our next critical step to accelerate this progress and institutionalize it across every facet of our society. The draft regulations before you today are comprehensive. They outline a clear path for education, capacity building, and the accreditation of trainers to ensure a uniform understanding of the law.
Present at the validation meeting were the Sector Minister, members of the committee, women groups, and other relevant stakeholders. Agnes Namomolate is the Minister for Gender, Social Protection and Children as well, and also the MP for Krowo. And now the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, has expressed deep disappointment over the Attorney General's decision to discontinue the prosecution of a suspect in the 2019 murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale. President of the association, Albert Jumfor, says the development is a dark chapter in the country's media history, calling on the Attorney General and Police CID to provide further clarity.
The GJA has received with deep concern and utter disappointment the news that the Medina District Court on October 14, 2025, discharged a suspect in the murder case of investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale, following the decision of the Attorney General's Department to discontinue the prosecution. This development coming several years after the cold-blooded murder of Ahmed Swale in January 2019 raises serious questions about the commitment and capacity of the state to pursue justice for slain journalists and protect press freedom in Ghana. The GJA finds it extremely worrying that after such a heinous crime that shocked the nation and the international media community, justice continued to elude the family of Ahmed Swale and the entire media fraternity. The inability of the state to bring the perpetrators of this crime to book after nearly 7 years, represent a grave blot on Ghana's record as a democracy that prides itself on the rule of law and freedom of expression. Why has the Attorney General Department or the police discontinued the case after years of investigation and public resources committed to pursuing justice? On what basis did the prosecutor or the police file the noli prosequi to enable the district court to free or discharge the suspect? What are the findings of the investigations conducted by the Ghana Police Service, and why have this not led to credible prosecutions? What is the current state of the investigations into the murder of Ahmed Swale, and what steps are being taken to bring the real perpetrators to justice? Why has there been limited transparency and public communication on the progress of the case? The discharge of a suspect without closure or credible explanation risks deepening public distrust in the justice system and may embolden those who target journalists with impunity. It also sends a dangerous signal that crimes against journalists can go unpunished.
That's all time will allow us this morning. For more news updates, just log on to our website, s3news.com. Alternatively, join my colleagues at 12, Marina, Egbeta, and Kemini Amano. And in a world where you can be anything, just be kind. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming to you. Good morning. Oh, please continue with your song. Who is that? Welcome to the biggest morning show right here on TV3. We're beaming live from our studios just across the Presidential Drive. So Presidential Drive, you know, from 37 Flagstaff House, we're close to the Jubilee House or the Flagstaff House. So I think so far we've seen Nanado, we've seen the movie, and now we're seeing John Dramani Mahama, I mean, literally, we don't see them. We see them in the cars with the Pompey. But what can I say? Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I'm loving your colors this morning. Green.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then also this one will have to be.
I have no idea. I think it's just khaki brown.
Khaki brown. Khaki brown is more appropriate. I'm just wearing coffee as well.
Yes.
And I have to say that it's a great morning. It's a delight to see all of you once again. Let me say good morning to Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, the Group Chief Executive for the Rate Group. Great man. Spend a lot of time with the family in Angloga as well. I couldn't come. Please forgive me. And then also Chairman Prosper as well as the rest of the team right there. And then Dr. Salifu Combat as well as lawyer Edmond Combat of the Tema Oil Refinery, Alhaji Jibril, all of you. Welcome to the show. What do we have this morning?
Oh, we have a long list of things to talk about this morning. We're going to further delve into the incident that unfolded this weekend in some parts of the Hafu region, involving...
It hasn't gone away? Still trending?
It hasn't gone away, still trending. We've heard from the police. We've heard from one of the MPs, members of parliament who were named. We've heard from Erastus Asare Donko, who was on the ground. He's also given a verbal account of what happened following the MP's claim that the allegations against him are untrue. For those of you who have not heard, on Saturday in the Hafu region, during one of the operations by NIMOS, they saw that a group of people were apparently mining by the side of the road. And so they went over there and, tried to institute an arrest and stop the individuals who were mining from doing so. And in the process, according to the report, the Member of Parliament for Asitufi North happened to come by and asked that the persons who have been arrested be released. The argument ensued for some time. It went on for some time, and next thing they knew, there were mobs, teeming youth from the community had come out to prevent the arrest of the persons who NIMOS had rounded up to send to the police station. From the images on the screen, you can see exactly what happened. The vehicle belonging to the NIMOS authorities was vandalized. The Ghana Police Service tried to help the military escape, which, from eyewitness accounts and from the videos we see, the Ghana Police Service did a very good job over there preventing any further escalation of the violence. And the mob actually threatened to burn down the police station if the persons who had been arrested were not released. This is what happened, according to the account by Erastus Asare Donko on his Facebook page. Now, the Member of Parliament for Asitufi North has come out to tell his side of the story. So we'll read the excerpts of that for you on the show today. We also saw a press release from the Ghana Police Service yesterday. And we're going to read that as well for you, just so, we bring a good balance to the conversation so far and all that's happened. Also, we're going to be looking at the Cybersecurity Amendment Bill and the various concerns that various organizations have raised about it, specifically the Ghana Journalists Association. So these are the two topics we're going to be looking on big issues today.
I think the conversation, which will be the last bit for the cybersecurity, will be quite interesting. There have been a lot of concern that raised by content creators, especially when it comes to using their social media handles or accounts, about some of those sections as amended, so to speak.
Yeah.
As proposed in the bill.
Yes. I mean, it would be great to find out really, because GJ is complaining that the amendment will be threat to press freedom. So it would be nice to get the details and really beyond the complaint, what they intend to do to ensure that the rights of or the freedom of the media is protected. Really, yes.
Wow.
But yeah, I love also the seriousness the IGP has attached to this attack on Naimus. The fact that he's directing men from here to go take over the issue. Yeah, but honestly, I mean, this morning, I just really got upset about the action of the community, really. It just goes to back the argument of people that these are environmental terrorists. These are just a few people. Of course, there's the other side of the argument saying that, well, they need jobs and all of that. But people say that, so you need jobs, so you should go and steal. I think that there should really be hard ways of dealing with these individuals who just do not want the right thing to be done. They think because of their daily bread or whatever selfish interest, we should allow them to continue destroying the environment. And I love the boldness of Erastus Asare-Donkor as well, really challenging the MP that the account he's given, a statement that you rightly said we're going to go into, it's not really exactly what he experienced. But for me, what struck me was the bit he said about the kind of metals they were using. I mean, that's crazy.
So his explanation was that what was happening is not the illegal mining that we have become aware of. It's a different kind. And the chemicals they were using to mine, the effect of the chemicals they were using to mine is much worse than what the normal galamseyers use. And we'll bring you details of that. And so the fact that the MP and the people from the community were preventing the arrest was shocking. And we're going to go into it a little further. We're going to bring you the account of Erastus Asare-Donkor as well on this matter. And we see all your messages also coming in on this issue. And the question about whether the military backing out of that situation is regular or expected behavior of the military in a situation like that. We've seen many accounts of people asking, what's the chain of command? Who was the military taking instructions from? Why would the military flee? And questions like that. And the counter opinion about the fact that, well, sometimes safety first, sometimes pushing back would mean a bloodbath between, armed men and unarmed civilians, no matter what they're doing. And the conversation has been going back and forth. But we'll get into it fully on big issues this morning. We also have sports.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll bring you some details of sports as well. But
we're getting ready for. Are you coming to the stadium on Saturday?
Yes.
The super clash.
Yes.
Between Accra Hearts of Oak and the Plantain team.
And your favorite team?
Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And they scored all their goals this weekend.
I'm for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
They scored all their goals this weekend.
It doesn't matter.
I'm
for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
I don't understand.
Forget about
that. Kotoko.
I'm for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
You have a game.
I'm for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. As a result of that, we have to do our morning conversation. So for this morning segment, what question?
We want to talk about Asante Kotoko. You have a game against
You are a winch. You are a winch.
You score all your goals.
We can't talk about Asante Kotoko.
Anyway,
so your argument is that we've already scored all the goals.
You scored 4 goals. You could have scored 2 and then reserved 2 for them.
Right.
Anyway, so we are excited about Saturday. GPL, come to the stadium, all right? Come to the stadium.
Now she won't go to the stadium.
Obanami. I have got to buy the new jersey. The new Accra House of Oak jersey.
Please, when you step out, get me Samatex. The one for Samatex.
Do you have jersey? Please.
Samra boy people.
Samatex. Do you have a jersey?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, they do.
Sure?
They have a very
I thought you wear
jersey.
black and white to the stadium.
No, but we wore one. Was it like last month?
Your jersey looks like PE pants.
You support Samatex.
Christopher Enin will not be happy with you.
Please. Anyway. So let's get into this morning.
Yeah.
And on this morning, we're going to go further into this Naimus community clash and the information that we've gathered from the Member of Parliament, as well as the instructions from the IGP for the CID to investigate this matter. Also, we understand that the Speaker of Parliament has been called into the matter as well because of the alleged involvement of the Members of Parliament. It's now time for this morning. All right, it's time for This Morning. And on the back of the reported violent clash between NIMOS and members of a community in Shidim and the alleged involvement of members of parliament and matters arising, we're basically asking you what you make of all of it. In your mind, what do you think? Let us read excerpts of the response from the Member of Parliament of Asitufi North.
Indeed, and it looks like this is coming from the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofibua, and he says that he has taken note of the recent attack on some members of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, during an operation at Bronikrum near Shidim in the Ahafu region. And he says, having been adequately briefed on the matter, the minister strongly condemns the incident which occurred on Saturday, 1st November 2025. Subsequently, the minister has held meetings with the Speaker of Parliament and the Minister for the Interior for the conduct of swift and rigorous investigations into the unfortunate circumstances. The statement goes on to say that this is in line with the government commitment to bring into book all perpetrators who aid, support, or fund the continuous decimation of the environment. Yes, so that's the statement coming from Emmanuel Amakofibua, confirming that statement made earlier by Na that indeed Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, has also been called into this. Let's pick our first caller now, who joins us on the phone. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on the This Morning segment on Newday. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Beatrice.
Yes.
Good morning to Roland and good morning to Na. I am Sidi Gledo. Bantasi calling from Wale Wale.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you.
Beatrice,
yes,
the fact of the matter is that the Galamsey issue is an attitudinal thing. Why am I saying this? We are calling on the government to come in and help. Meanwhile, there are leaders, authority in those places that the Galamsey is going on. What are they doing? Those who are doing it, do they have conscience? Are they not seeing the devastation that it is causing on the sick people around those areas? So before this fight will be win, then our attitude, my attitude and their attitude has to change. Nobody can fight the Galamsey unless we ourselves. Some time back, I was watching your television and I saw people digging on the railway lines. I was just asking myself as to whether these people, they actually reason. Do they eat through their mouth or through their nose? Because how can a sensible human being just dig on a runway, assuming without admitting that a train is going to pass through that lane? What will happen? And there are people watching and expecting government to come in. You see, these politicians, they are using us. It is not going to be won if we don't change our attitude and say we are going to stop it by ourselves. Because thieves are accomplices of those things. They gain over that issues. So government is not going to do anything. They are going to look on until we, the citizens, comes out and say we want to stop Galamsey, it will be stopped. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for calling us from Wale Wale. And I think I agree with a lot of the points he's made. I mean, our attitude. We have sanitation issues because of our attitude. We have people we are not able to implement our laws because of our attitude. So I so agree with him. And that incident he referred to, the railway line. I mean, we did it in the news across all our platforms. And I was shocked myself when I saw it. I mean, crazy how people could dig all around such that it was just hanging on top of the soil. I mean, we need to deal with this.
Yeah, certainly. And I think the law enforcement authorities also need to take action when it comes to some of those ones. We have a couple of messages. It says, all of you are looking so beautiful. And it's sad that we're having these very issues about Galamsey, but also get to wish me happy birthday. And so, okay, I'll read this. And so we have Irene Joyebeng of Tamale of the Pink Ribbon Enterprise. And you're celebrating your birthday, Irene Joyebeng of Tamale Pink Ribbon Enterprise. Happy birthday to you as well, and wish you all the best for the day. You say you love the way we look this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's take a look at the statement released by the Member of Parliament for Asutufi North, Ebenezer Kweku-Addo. These are excerpts of the statement stating his account of what happened. All right. On the 1st of November 2025, Honorable Addo was en route to a funeral in Achirenswa, Asutufi South, when he learned of tensions at Hudium linked to a military operation at a gold mining site. He contacted Honorable Collins Dauda, MP for Asutufi South, who asked him to visit the site and engage the military on his behalf. Upon arrival, Honorable Addo introduced himself to the military leader and sought to de-escalate the situation as some youth were gathering at the scene. He advised all parties to move to the police station to make official statements and hand over seized items and suspects to ensure calm. At the Shidem police station, he worked alongside the military, police officers, NIB operatives and security personnel as statements were taken. He invited the Zongo chief of Hudium to help restore peace. The chief later transported some military officers in his vehicle. After Honorable Addo left for other funerals, the Zongo chief's vehicle was attacked with its rear glass smashed. Honorable Addo denied inciting the youth or obstructing any security operation, emphasizing his actions were guided by the need to maintain peace and order. He expressed disappointment that the police reports did not acknowledge his efforts in calming the situation. He urged the public to disregard false reports meant to tarnish his image. The MP reaffirmed his commitment to law, order, and safety of his constituents and all Ghanaians. So these are excerpts of the statement issued by the Honorable Addo, Member of Parliament, I beg your pardon, for Asutufi North. We have a caller standing by now.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
This is Wayomi on the line, calling from Tamale.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What actually happened over the weekends was a dark day for Ghana. It means we are not learning from any mistake at all. It means our Honorable Murtala Muhammad Anko, who just died recently, they died in vain. Because it was on they died on the line of duty to go and fight Galamsey. So it's like we value money more than life. And that is money first, not Ghana first. Like US mantra, America first. In Ghana, it is money first. And politicians are those who are championing Galamsey. Whether you like it or not. Now, NPP is waiting. They have to fold their arms now, waiting to see how John Mahama, His Excellency, will deal with this issue. But now you want to me is in court battling this Galamsey thing. Now, if John Mahama, His Excellency, fails to deal with these people in his own party, that means Wintimi and Co also have to go free because it's the same thing. They have all broken the law. So once you break the law must deal with you, irrespective where you come from. And I know John Mahama pedigree. He has done that before to his own party member, the Abuga Pele. So I know very well John will do the same thing this time around. You see, if the other MP they understand, he is saying your but Collins Dauda, you are old. What do you need one again for? In Parliament for only God knows how many years. So why are you bent on destroying the environment? Are you now amassing the wealth for your grandchildren Or what are you actually telling Ghanaians? It means everybody should just get up any time, any day, and go and engage in galamsey because we want job to do. And nobody just wants job. We want money. Why do we work? Because we want money. So I am sure that John Mahama, His Excellency, would just look, these two MPs must leave Parliament. They must leave Parliament. They are disgrace to Ghana. It means the galamsey fighting, if John Mahama do not remove these people, we have lost it already. So that's my contribution for now. So whatever it is, we will still link up later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling us from Tamale and sharing your views with us. Remember that, yes, these are allegations under investigation, and already we've heard the MP denying that. We're yet to hear from Collins.
He says he actually was helping. Yes. He was helping. He called the Zongo chief, to bring his car to help restore peace. He actually helped take them to the police station and so on. But when you listen to Erastus, he says something different.
Yes.
He says that until the arrival of the MP and the owner of the site, the arrest and so on was going on calmly. There was no problem until these two individuals arrived with their people. That's when the argument ensued, and that's where everything escalated. And so he doesn't agree with the MP's account of what happened, according to the MP statement. And he also says that he doesn't accuse the Honorable Collins Dauda of being complicit. He only reported what the MP said, that it was Honorable Collins Dauda who sent him. But he cannot say if he indeed sent him. It's merely a reported statement from what the Honorable Member of Parliament for Tifi North said to him when he arrived. But what do you make of all of this? Let us know. You can call us. Phone lines are still active, and if you're texting us, we'll read your messages as well.
Well, we have a couple of messages, and so I have this one from Kofi Kwatiam in Nkukro. Good morning to you, Honorable. It says, why would Collins Dauda send someone to the leader of NIMOS? If he had any concerns, he should have addressed them after the operations. Besides, he wasn't even in the country, either through the police or the court. The two MPs must face consequences to serve as a deterrent to others. There are more questions for them to answer. Now, I have this one from Prince Henry Kofodia. Prince Henry Kofodia, though, is contesting for a position as a GRASAC president for the All Nations University at the ANU chapter, wishing her the best PHK, but says that if it is true that the MP was part of that barbaric act by inciting the people based on his arrival, he must face the consequences. We cannot continue to entertain such acts if we want to reset Ghana. God bless our homeland, Ghana. PHK, and then also Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napar, good morning to you, President, the Light Foundation, says that God bless all of you for your good work for Mother Ghana. Please, this galamsey menace needs to be tackled by all, from all angles. We need to intensify education in communities, and then also tax religious leaders to engage deliberately with their own people and other stakeholders. We must be consistent to save the situation. The sites are not too good. Sheikh Abubakar Nape, great man. Wishing all the best for the day as well.
Yes. We have another call on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and what you think of what we're discussing today. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and what's on your mind.
My name is Morris Bafar from Bandai.
Yes, sir.
Can I
Yes, please. Go ahead with your point.
Yes. My issue is about the galaxies. I can see that it's nothing but the leadership. The Excellency John Mahama promised you fight against galaxies, and I can see the action of that. You are doing a lot of things. We appreciate that. But the issue is our leadership of Ghana, especially Parliament. In fact,
they are not only people that can interested with money. All Ghanaians interested with money. When they put them to power, they ask them to come and do something better for Ghana, not for their stomach. I can see that a lot of people in parliament are interested with their stomach more than the people of Ghana. So we beg your mama to help us to do away with these galaxies. And its leadership in Ghana, they are the people that are doing those kind of job. This one, we are seeing it today. A lot of people are in the ground doing those kind of galaxies work. You see one minister having more than 3-4 mountains. Why are they getting that one? Is it their salary? Are they only people that are intelligent more than others in Ghana? They are no intelligent than you. You sitting in the stadium today, they are no more intelligent than you. They are not only the people hardworking more than others. Why are they only the people having a lot of money? Why are they getting the money for? Isn't our Ghana money?
Some are business people, you don't think so?
Please, TV3, we beg you people to send this information to us so that, and our electricity in Pandai too is a very serious issue. We don't have light in Pandai. Pandai town doesn't have light. Pandai town doesn't have light. So we beg Excellency John Mama, please come to Pandai and help out our light. When you enter the Pandai town, only the community that you can see light, but Pandai town itself doesn't have light. Please, this one, TV3, work for us. We are serious area where we have found ourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for calling us from Pandai and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Very interesting comments there. This one is coming from Sherry Giovanni, who says that yesterday, listening to Erastus Asari Donko giving his account of the incident, I was completely terrified. The chemicals these guys are using are more harmful than what their counterparts use. There are a host of top politicians, especially from the governing side, that are neck deep into this canker. Mr. Ebenezer Ado's statement is a post-facto rationalization of the incident. Punitive measure must be taken against all of them. It says, good morning to Miss Mariam, Oga of UEW. Every day, good morning, Miss Mariam. Who is that, Miss Mariam? Sherry Giovanni. Sammy, good morning to you. And then Courage Koshigam in Anglonga Lashibi says that we're still waiting for the government's communication team to say something about the behavior of these two NDC MPs. We are not arrogant, we respect the law. Okay. From Courage Kotoka. And, well, so we have many others as well. Do we have more callers? Let me say good morning to you, Alaji Jibril of National Security. And then also of the Tema Enclave, wishing you all the best for the Edmond Combat as well, Managing Director. Now, Randolph says that the wealth of the land and everything that exists here for Ghanaians, we can't allow individuals and their gains to cause negative externalities for all of us. The transformation of the land doesn't just depend on the president, but also all of us as Ghanaians. Good morning to all of you. Randolph.
I agree with that. Let's go to another caller now who joins us live on the phone as well. Good morning to you, sir. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from. What do you think of what we're discussing today?
Please, my name is Elias from Bongo in the Upper East region.
Yes, sir. I hope Bongo is well this morning.
Oh, we are feeling peaceful and everything is calm.
Great. Tell us.
Please, this guarantee is, to me, what I've been thinking about it is that this guarantee issue, NPP and NDC, they are making the thing political. And this thing is not any political work. Because there are chiefs in the town. In those towns and those areas, there are various stakeholders who are supposed to also collaborate with the people in power. Without them, there's no president who can and fight it. So they should just work on that with the local leaders and those authorities in those areas so that they will be able to collaborate together and find out the lasting solution for these things. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your views with us, calling us live from Bongo in the Upper East region.
And that's a very valid point. You know, over and over again, discussions about Galamsey and how we can move forward ought to include the local authorities, the chiefs, the community leaders, and so on, because it's like we're fighting parallel battles. You know, I beg your pardon. The country on one side deploying the military, NIMOS, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, and all the work that's going on, the military, the Ghana Police Service. And then the people in the community on a totally different tangent.
Yeah.
You would think that when the NIMOS operatives rounded the people up, the people in the community will actually assist.
Yeah.
That is what we should expect.
Yeah.
But they're on a totally different tangent. And so this fight against Galamsey, perhaps we need to reconsider the approach.
I don't know what it would take to get all the chiefs to also understand that this is a cause all of us must be involved in. Somebody made a comment some time ago, and I so agreed with the person, that the sound of shamfans and excavators and all of that, there is no chief in any community who can say they don't hear it. Even in the middle of the night, they can still hear those sounds. Why do they allow them to happen? Why? Because everybody wants to get something immediately. Let's go to the caller on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us your name and what's on your mind.
Hello?
Hello, sir. We can hear you. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and what you've got to say on what's on the table.
Roger from Bolga.
Roger from Bolga, thank you for joining us. What's on your mind?
Yeah, about the issue of the Galamsey. In my opinion, I think that...
Roger, forgive me for interrupting. I think you have your television set on. Would you kindly turn down the volume so we can hear you clearly?
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. We are getting feedback.
Would you kindly turn down the volume? Okay.
So turn it down for us and let's hear you.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying that... let's hear you. Hello?
All right.
Wow.
We'll have to...
Yes.
Yes, but yes.
Obey rules, basic rules.
The numbers are on your screen.
Yeah.
Just call us and share your thoughts with us on this
A couple of comments
issue.
still coming through. Let me say to you, Guy G, cantonment right here in Accra, wishing all the best for the day. And this one is coming from, Osei Boating says, I work with the Ghana Revenue Authority in one of the communities which is inundated with galamseyers, and sometimes you look at the effect on the environment alone, not to talk about the water bodies, you will marvel. And for all of us who are working in those communities, we keep wondering. We don't gain from the gold they tend to dig or mine from the areas, but yet we are suffering. In my house, for example, where I've rented, we have a borehole available. I just keep wondering whether the water I drink from that borehole or bath is really good. I'm talking about the GRA. Let me say good morning to you, Lawyer LT Apeu. And I know you're with the GRA. They will be having the official launch of their Sustained National Tax Education Program and Modified Taxation Scheme. Wishing you all the best for the day. LT Apeu of the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Finance Minister, etc. will be there as well. So LT, I hope to see you there as well. Ghana Revenue Authority launching that great event as well.
Yeah.
Do you have other comments?
Not
Okay.
yet, yes.
Then I'll continue reading more comments for you. And John Agringe of Kumasi says, good morning to all of you. You're looking splendid. What is most important is for all stakeholders to have the buy-in for the president and the government's position on the strategy to combat galamsey, but wherein you hear party officials as well as key members of parliament involved, while nobody's saying they are guilty or not, it just doesn't speak well about whether everybody is on the same page. And so I agree with Na on that position. Say good morning to my wife, Juliet Ayamba as well. And so John Agringi and then Juliet Ayamba, wishing all the best for the morning. We already have another caller.
Yes, we do. Good morning to you. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and what's on your mind today.
Good morning. This is Megina.
Oh, hi, Megina.
By the grace and you.
Very well, thank you.
Megina.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And why?
Major, go ahead.
Okay. I think the issue on board is very serious that we all need
Major, your voice is very low. If you kindly speak up or get a bit closer to the phone so we can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me?
It's a bit better. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I'm that the society we find ourselves in, we always say in that it's the panel the work. But today, that kind of the proverb or white thing have been written because we value money than we don't care looking for money, but we don't care of the ripple effect of what we do at the end of the day. So what I say is that we need, as a society, to begin our upbringing. And today we have for all these things, and that is the reason. But I am saying that this issue is not about the MPs alone. Don't let us limit our saying to MPs. It's all of us. Go to Kenya. It's closer. It is a mining area, numerous concession area. I have been saying that the people in these areas, I have north, I have south, they are farmers. We have given the land to the mining company. I don't want to mention the name, but we all know the company. Look at the people in those localities. What is the population of the area? You have taken the land from the people, compensated them. How much will you use that money? How can they use that little money? I call it little money. I don't know how much you give to the person that will satisfy the person. I am a cocoa farmer. My farm can feed my family over 100 years plus. And you are taking it, saying the cocoa farmer is this. At the end of the day, where do you want the generation to go? We have shortened the people's life. Go to those mining areas. Look at, when I am from Yamfu, when you go there, we used not to, when you are looking for food to eat, you not suffer. Today, Yamfu, a farming area, it is very difficult to eat today because land has been taken away from the people, which their occupation is farming. As a society, can't we live without mining? If we say we are an agrarian economy, can't we do any innovative thing that will let people to cultivate and make their life? Use what we cultivate to feed our industries. But we are looking at what GDP will get at the end of the day. But how does it reflect the people's life? In the end, I answer my education, and your MPs in the if that area is under how are they can they account royalty crop? Maybe your company now how does it benefit the people who live them? There's first sustainable livelihood for the people. That's why they are listed this number of bar of gold.
Well, thank you very much, Major. It looks like we've lost him. His line wasn't so clear throughout most of the time. But thank you very much, Major. I agree with some of the points he makes. Really, yeah. A lot of people are angry this morning, it looks like. Yes.
And rightly so. And rightly so. It feels like we take one step forward and two steps backwards in this fight against Galamsey.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was listening to an older man who said he doesn't know how young people are going to continue this fight because, in his words, they are going, but we will be left with this problem. and we will see our children suffer for it.
I've heard
as
many.
for our children's children, there's no telling.
Yeah. You know, when I was in Akwatia ahead of the by-election, I spoke with a chief who was complaining that food had become expensive because a lot of the lands had been converted. Farming lands had now been, at the time, been converted to illegal mining sites. And so they were buying food from other communities, and it was expensive living in that area. That is just Akwatia.
We heard a farmer speak on TV say that farming is seasonal. When you plant, you have to wait for the season to harvest. But Galamsey is all year round. And so he's going to give his farm.
Really?
Yeah. He's giving his farm because Galamsey is all year round. And the Edidi Perkun mindset is what is our undoing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you listen to him, that's what he sees.
Yes.
That's how he sees it. But we are not thinking about the future.
And to
think that it's a criminal offense.
Yeah. The fact that they will get, let's say, 5,000 from the farm and they go to mining and they will get like 10,000 in just a day or two, they feel like I'm wasting all my time and energy.
Is that really the numbers, though?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure because we had an illegal miner. Maybe it depends on where he was mining, who didn't confirm those amounts. But let's speak to another caller who joins us on the phone as well. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from. Oh, it's actually Madam. Thank you very much for joining us. Esinam, tell us where you're calling us from.
How are you? Where are you calling us from?
Fine, thank you. I'm calling from Mamprobi.
Mamprobi. Ufana no fe no e
fine. Hello.
Ufana no fe no e fine.
I can't hear you. Come again.
Okay. It's no better.
Maybe she doesn't speak.
Yes. Oh, but if you're calling from Mamprobi, you would understand the best of Ghana.
Go ahead.
Yes.
And I want to contribute to your program this morning.
Go ahead,
please.
Yeah. And all these things that we are hearing, and in fact, what I want to say is, there are people in those towns. There are chiefs, there are these people in those towns. They are aware of what is going on. So the president alone cannot fight.
Oops. I'm sorry, Esinam. If you can call back.
But in all fairness, according to the MP, if the MP's account is anything to go by, he invited the Zongo chief. I'm not sure if the Zongo chief is a traditional authority. Do you know?
It's almost like a settler sectarian chief.
Like a community leader.
But he has some level of influence. Yes.
So he's a settler chief.
Okay. So the Zongo chief came and helped the situation. After he invited him, that's the MP for Asitufi North, according to his account.
I'm intrigued by the bit he said that after all that he did, the police didn't acknowledge his efforts towards calming the situation.
The chief?
No, the MP. He's upset that the police didn't acknowledge his efforts.
The MP there, if we come for studio interview, for grill him one-on-one, we make we see. There are inconsistency in his statement, so if you want, make it bring in body.
If you're watching us, you can actually call in and we can have a conversation on that. But yes, we have Godfather joining us.
Oh, Godfather.
Yes, hi Godfather. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, tell us what's on your mind today.
Yes. You see, in Ghana, the law that we have is applicable in two folds. One for the elite, and then the other one for the mule. The ones I call the mule are the nobodies. You see? So when you have an issue in Ghana, you would realize that depending on your social standing, a law is applicable to you. Now, in Ghana, all of us are aware that the late Gamanye has been buried, and that is my grandmother. Meanwhile, the old lady is in the fridge as I speak with you. But the whole of Ghana said, including TV3, that Gamanye goes home finally to rest. And nobody is doing anything. So this one, nothing will happen. Because we have the law for the rich and the law for the poor. I have sat behind Nashoko at the UPSA campus, Ghana School of Law, where we were taught that, oh, the law does not discriminate, the law does not do this. And when I come out, I say we are being taught one thing, and practically we are seeing another thing. Madam, so tell the people that they are the ones who are to execute the law. They should execute the laws fairly. And TV3, I came there last week to look for Godwin Asiraba. You know, sometimes when we want to get a journalist, it becomes so difficult for us to access you guys. The security will be preventing us, they will tell you this. But then finally, I did my check and I realized that the man is not in town.
Yes, he's not.
You, TV3, you would have to come and do a documentary on Gamanye, where someone is in the fridge and people have claimed and the public have donated. You understand? It's awful. But this is the country that we live in. I don't know whether the name should be changed from Ghana to Banana, because it's almost like a banana republic and nothing seems to be working. And it's unfortunate. Thank you and have a good morning.
Thank you very much. He has a lot of things on his chest today.
Interesting. Let me say good morning to Dr. Joe Asante-Otre of the University of Cape Coast. Wishing you all the best. It's been a while I've seen you on our screens. One of these days we have to put you on so that we'll have some great conversations thereof. Okay, so this one is coming from Dennis Akwete. Okay, he says, since we have refused to reset ourselves as human beings and rather chosen to be a nation of glorifying slogans, it is just a matter of time and nature will certainly reset us. And when that day comes, it will be uncontrollable, it will be an uncontrollable cry akin to the biblical Rachel story. Shalom.
Khalil Man from WA says, good morning now. The MP is now trying to do damage control, but this will not work. We should sacrifice him. Okay. For a scorpion to start biting, it first starts with the mother to show that any other person will not be spared if it can handle its own mother. And that's Khalil Man texting us from WA. Landlord from Boga D-Line. Did you read his message?
No.
It's a very long one. He says, it's quite unfortunate that comrades across the length and breadth of our country jumped to conclusion with the issue of the NIMOS attack. Comrades need to be smart in terms of issues that require thorough investigation in the interest of Mother Ghana. MPP is full of diabolics, of which NDC needs to be careful. Honorable Collins Dowda wasn't in the country, but the diabolics named him as an initiator of the NIMOS attack. Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Addo was at a funeral within the district of his leadership role to be executed. Bam. My question is, if you were in the shoes of Ebenezer Addo and you heard that there was chaos between constituents and NIMOS, what would you have done as Member of Parliament? So his presence was just to calm the people. Is it a crime? His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, is resetting Ghana, and we're excited for that. Let's preach the good work the President is doing. Comrades, listen up. All right, so, okay. So this is from Boga, landlord from Boga D-Line. I guess you are also adding your own perspective or account of the story of what happened, because we've heard from the Member of Parliament, and he has said his part of the story. So let's listen to all sides, all right, and report what he said. I think that's all for calls. That's all for calls.
We have to go for a break.
Yes.
But we have cash out. Goes with the short code again. *439#. Increase the number of tickets you have by dialing *439#. Choose option 2. So you're having option 2 there, TV3. You're going to get a prompt that's going to ask you how many tickets you want. 40 plus. It's a very lucky number, 40. 40 plus. All right. And so it's also very, very important for all of us as well. And then, well, last time I had some great shitolo for those of us who lived in good Ghana community.
Shitolo.
We know shitolo.
With what?
And so, Anye, shitolo. Anye. Okay. In Osu Market, thank you for bringing me the great packages for myself and the rest of the team. We're grateful.
You didn't give me some.
Yeah, you were not around.
You didn't give me
some.
You
were not around.
But why do you always keep that in a long time, Roland? This is the second time I'm saying that.
Why do you always keep food for yourself?
You see, the problem with Nai is that Nai is very very picky about the type of.
That's
You know,
not
she's
true.
always trimming. She always wants to go to the gym. For those of you who don't know,
That's
go
not
and look for
true.
Nash Oko on social media. You see her. She's gymming.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm trying to be like. So she's cutting off. Pruning her flesh.
She can eat that and still
Don't
go
divert.
to the
Don't
gym.
divert the
your
attention.
outfit.
Don't
You look
divert the
very
attention.
handsome.
It will not
You
happen.
look very handsome, Roland.
Well,
Is this from the
Elizabeth?
lady?
No, Tema. Elizabeth.
Elise Couture.
Yeah.
Elise Couture.
Don't
Yes.
divert the attention. I mean, you're always streaming, so Chitolo, you will not eat
No,
it.
but Roland, you need to bring me.
We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Forget about these ladies. Moses Akrobo too. I wish you all the best for the morning. Bye bye.
Let's go.
And you're welcome back. You're watching TV3 Newday, and it's now time for Big Issues. This is a segment where we talk about the major news headlines, things happening in the country that require further probe. We invite you to be part of the conversation always. You can send me messages under our Facebook live stream. I'll be happy to read them as we go. Otherwise, you can send them on X with the hashtag TV3 Newday. I'll read them as we go. And as always, I will promise to read as many as possible before the end of this hour. If you haven't cashed out this morning, you want to do so, dial *439#, select option 2 for TV3. That's how you win 1,000 CDs on the show. I've got 10,000 CDs. I'm giving it out to 10 of you, all right? I've got 10,000 CDs going out to 10 of you. All you have to do is dial *439#, select option 2, and that's TV3, and then play at least 35 times to 40 times. Yeah, that's a good number. 35 to 40 times, and you can win 1,000 CDs on the show this morning. It's as simple as that. That's how you win. So dial now *439# and win. Now, this morning, we're going to continue our conversation on the rather unfortunate incident that happened over the weekend, that violent clash between NIMOS, the Director of Operations and his enforcement team, and community members somewhere in Ahafo, in Shidim. Now, the story that we have so far is that the NIMOS team were out on a different operation, and then they saw that there was some mining activities happening on the side of the road in Shidim. So they went over there to find people, engaged in the activity. Some of them took off, but a gentleman operating the excavator was instructed to refill the pit, and they proceeded to try to arrest the persons present and take them to the police station, as is the normal practice. However, they were asked to invite a call was made to the site manager, who came over, and soon after that, the Member of Parliament for Asutufi North is said to have come also, Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Ado, is said to have come over with some men. After his arrival, there was a lot of disagreement and scuffle, which, according to Erasmus Asari Donko, went on for hours. They then tried to move the persons who had been arrested to the police station, but then they were met with a lot of pushback from community members who had now massed up. Eventually, they were able to get to the police station, but from the videos that we have seen on your screen now, it was a very rowdy scene. The police, members of the Ghana Police Service who were present, were able to get the military to safety in the NIMOS vehicle, which was vandalized, as you can see in the video. The back mirror, the back screen was broken. And the members of the community were obviously still, trying to attack them. They actually threatened to burn down the police station over there. Now, we've heard from the Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Ado. He said his side of the story. He released a press statement, I beg your pardon, on his letterhead yesterday. So these are just excerpts from the summary. This is a summary of the statement from Honorable Kweku Ado, the MP for Asutufi North. He says that on the 1st of November 2025, Honorable Ado was en route to a funeral in Ashurensua in Asutufi South, when he learned of tensions at Shidim linked to a military operation at a gold mining site. He contacted Honorable Collins Dauda, who is MP for Asutufi South, who asked him to visit the site and engage the military on his behalf. Upon arrival, Honorable Ado introduced himself to the military leader and sought to de-escalate the situation, as some of the youth were gathering at the scene. He advised all parties to move to the police station and make official statements and hand over the seized items and suspects to ensure calm. At the Shidim police station, he worked alongside the military police officers, NIB operatives, and other security personnel as statements were taken. He invited the Zongo chief of Shidim to help restore peace. The chief later transported some military officers in his vehicle. After Honorable Ado left, he left for other funerals, the Zongo chief's vehicle was attacked with its rear glass smashed. Honorable Ado denied inciting the use or obstructing any security operation, emphasizing his actions were guided by the need to maintain peace and order. He expressed disappointment at the police report, that the police report did not acknowledge his efforts in calming the situation. He urged the public to disregard the false reports meant to tarnish his image. The MP reaffirmed his commitment to law, order and safety of his constituents and all Ghanaians. All right. So these are excerpts from the statement issued by the Honourable Member of Parliament, who's mentioned in the middle of all of this, this violence clash between NIMOS and the community members in Fidim. Let me introduce my guest here to you, and then we'll look at other statements which have come out since. We've heard from the Ghana Police Service and also Honourable Collins Dowda, and also the journalist in the center of this who first reported this on Facebook, Erastus Asari Donko. In studio with us this morning, Honourable men. Now, yesterday, okay, I'll tell you this joke a little later, but it's good to have you in studio with us this morning. My dear old friend, Nanaya Osapong. Oh. Good to have you in studio.
Good to see you.
Deputy General Secretary, is that correct? Yes. Of the United Party.
Of the United Party.
I haven't spoken to you since you took on this position.
Yes. You were on holidays. And I was jealous.
Oh, you were jealous?
I saw the videos.
Oh, well, I'm back.
And then the train. Hey.
Yeah, I'm back.
I actually baby.
I'm back, but I'll take you on the Ghana train. The one that comes from Tema through Achibota.
Oh, my time for you.
Oh, have you been on the train?
Yes, I think when they started, I was on it once. Okay. I just wanted to experience how it is to be on a train.
I hear it's very efficient. I'm planning on visiting it on Friday, so you're invited to come along.
Please, just remind me.
Great to have you in studio.
We'll take Kinky along.
Yes, very well. Very well. Also in studio, Hamza Sirini, NDC Communication Team Member and legal practitioner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's great to have you.
Well, it's a privilege to be here, and good morning to my brother as well and our cherished viewers out there. I think I've been missing in action for some time now.
Yes.
But hopefully, I'm back to do the Lord's work on behalf of my party and government.
You're welcome back.
Thank you.
On behalf of the people of Ghana, right?
And of course, yes, undoubtedly, because we are deeply rooted when it comes to the Ghanaian dream as a political party. And I think that my brother agrees with me. So when it comes to our roots and this connection to the service of this country, the National Democratic Congress stands tall. Indeed, we are the foundational pillars of this current democracy that we all seem to be enjoying and trying our possible best to ensure that we perfect. So it is our baby. We will do everything to protect it. Hopefully the United Party will join us in that drive.
All right. Well, before we get into our discussion this morning, we've seen the statement released by the Member of Parliament. I'd like us to look at the statement released by the Ghana Police Service as well, and then we'll get into the conversation proper. We'll also bring you some of the tips, that have come out since this report was put out on Saturday. This is on the letterhead of the Ghana Police Service from the Public Affairs Directorate. All right. So the IGP directs the CID headquarters to take over investigation into attack on NIMOS director and his team at Fidim as with TV3 North, MP invited to assist investigation. And I'll just read parts of it. All right. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, Mr. Christian Tete Yohonu, has directed the Criminal Investigations Department, CID headquarters, to take over investigations into the attack on the Director of Operations of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, and his team by thugs at Fidim in the Ahafo region. The Member of Parliament for TV3 North, Honourable Ebenezer Kwekuado, who is alleged to have incited the mob and obstructed the NIMOS team, has been invited to assist ongoing investigation into the incident. Preliminary investigation has established that on Saturday, the 1st of November, 2025, the NIMOS director and his team intercepted illegal miners operating near Bronikrum in the Ahafo region and arrested some suspects. Exhibits retrieved from them include a side handbag containing 1 Smith & Wesson pistol, 2 pistol magazines, 21 round of 9mm ammunition, an unregistered Range Rover vehicle, an unregistered Toyota RAV4 vehicle, and several mobile phones. While the team were preparing to hand over the suspects to the Shidem police station, the MP reportedly arrived with a group of men and demanded their release. When his demand was refused, the group forcibly removed the suspects' handcuffs and chased the NIMOS team from the scene. The mob, numbering about 600, allegedly incited by the MP, later besieged the Shidem police station, demanding the release of the miners and the seized vehicles. The crowd vandalized the director's vehicle, damaged parts of the police station, and threatened to set it ablaze. Reinforcement teams from the Ahafo Regional Command were deployed to restore order and prevent further destruction. Calm was eventually restored through the joint effort of the police, the military, the Zongo chief of Shidem, who helped mediate the situation and facilitate the safe evacuation of the NIMOS team. The chief's vehicle was damaged during the process, but no injuries have been reported. All right, so this is a part of the statement press release issued from the Ghana Police Service, from the Public Affairs Directorate on the 3rd of November. That was yesterday. All right, so this is matters arising. As we go, I will share with you some of the audio files from Erastus Asari Donko, who has been speaking after the Facebook post. All right, he's been speaking after the Facebook post. So there's more information to digest on the matter. There's more information to digest on the matter, and some of your messages have already come in regarding this issue. We have discussed it extensively, I'll say, on TV3 Newday. We also have a statement from the Minister or from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and we'll go through a bit of that before we come back to the studio to discuss. And please indulge us. I know we have to have the discussion, but all of these pieces of information are important for us to be able to have a holistic conversation on the matter. So this is a statement from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa, and he says he's taking note of the recent attack on some members of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, during an operation at Bronikrum near Shidem in Ahafo region. Having been adequately briefed on the matter, the minister strongly condemns the incident, which occurred on Saturday, the 1st of November, 2025. Subsequently, the minister has held meetings with the Speaker of Parliament and the Minister for the Interior for the conduct of swift and rigorous investigations into the unfortunate circumstances. This is in line with government's commitment to bring to book all perpetrators who aid, support, or front the continuous dissemination of the environment. All right. Back in studio, we'll go into the conversation now. We've been joined by Dr. Josiah Koba. Good morning, sir. Former principal lecturer, GIMPA, and also a private legal practitioner. It's great to have you in studio, sir.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, now we've seen the videos, we've heard the various press statements, we've heard the accounts of the MP, the account of Erastus Asari Donko, and we have seen the visuals, the images exactly of what happened. We've heard also from some of the eco-conscious citizens and advocates for the environment who have said that this would be a test, Hamza, this would be a test on the Mahama administration, on the commitment of this administration to the fight against illegal mining. What do you say to that?
I think that I will start on the premise that I disagree on that conclusion, that this is going to be a test on the Mohammed's administration in terms of how committed it is to the fight against illegal mining. From day one, we have been consistent in terms of the kind of interventions we intend as a government to roll out in our bid to more or less curtail the menace in the first year and hopefully successfully bring it to a halt in our second year or so. And we are still committed to that. That point needs to be made. We do not need to, our resolve will not be tested by the occurrences of what happened in the, is it
Asutifi North?
North, yes, absolutely not. I disagree with, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
From what we have gathered, certain promises were made by the Mahama administration in terms of the strategies that we would want to deploy to combat the menace of illegal mining. Upon assumption of office, we have moved straight into action, rolled out a number of policy interventions intended to bring the fight or the activities of illegal mining to an end. Unfortunately, at the time we were engaged in that, civil society still raised concerns and demanded for a declaration of state of emergency. And as a responsible government, we thought it prudent to engage civil society organizations for them to appreciate that the circumstances prevailing now are entirely different from what we used to know under the erstwhile administration.
What's the difference?
In terms of the commitment. In the past, there were known party functionaries of the New Patriotic Party who were engaged in illegal mining. Known party functionaries. Indeed, at a point, even the minister responsible for environment, science and technology indicated that the fight was becoming difficult because his own party people were engaged and they were being protected by functionaries of the state. Their national women's organizer was bold in terms of their activities surrounding Galamsey. So it was known the state had lost interest. The minister responsible for energy, lands and natural resources, the Honorable Abu Jinapo, had cause to issue statements against Wuntumi and Akonta Mine and accused them of engaging in illegal mining activities. The various bodies that the president had instituted to deal with the menace of illegal mining, a number of these functionaries were themselves caught on live video, taking bribes to make way for illegal mining activities. The circumstances today are totally different. You have a new government and a president that has indicated that, look, we will go all out to ensure that we bring the menace of illegal mining to an end. And the president issued a stern warning to even his appointees that if you are suspected to be engaged in the menace of illegal mining, be rest assured that you'll be dealt with.
Now,
these are the facts. And if you are a bit patient with me.
Okay.
Now, civil society still had concerns. As a government that listens, we did not treat it shabbily. We decided to engage them in a presidential encounter. And it was pretty obvious, even in that engagement, that there were disagreements as to whether indeed a state of emergency should be declared or not by the civil society actors. Indeed, the GJA president himself openly admitted that he was impressed about the fight of the Mahama administration as far as the illegal mining activities, the fight against illegal mining is concerned. So the signals have been sent already. The mistake we should not make in this country, and that is where I would go to, the mistake we should not make in this country is that in as much as we all agree that this is a canker we need to fight, we must do so in line with the laws of this country. The gentleman is not, the gentleman that we are discussing today, the member of parliament for the Asutifi North, is not an appointee of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. He is a sitting member of parliament. And His Excellency President Mahama cannot jump the gun and proceed to issue out sanctions when there are legally established state institutions that are already conducting their investigations. And that is why I'm saying that we should be careful in saying that this is a test of the Mohammed's administration commitment. Because President Mahama will not act as an Inspector General of Police or the head of the CID to investigate this matter. The call should be placed at the right quarters. And that is the CID and the Ghana Police Service. We all must demand that they do a good job. And if at any point in time we see hands of the presidency or government functionaries attempting to influence the nature of the investigations, then we would be within our right to begin to question the resolve of the Mahama administration as far as the fight is concerned.
So
we are not there.
He should continue to conduct his affairs as member of parliament and so on.
That is not for me to think. It is about the laws of the republic, even the speaker of parliament, and I'll get there. It's another architecture that we can hold him to account. But you see, finally, let me make this point. I already made the point that we should be careful about our laws. This is a member of parliament. When the news first broke, like I indicated, if the gentleman is found to be guilty, the state must come heavily on him as a signal to many of us out there that, look, this government and the state would not entertain such characters. But it will be unfair for us to sit around this table and condemn the gentleman even before investigations are carried out. It was Erastus who issued a Facebook post and made these allegations. We all know that Erastus was not at the center of the investigations, of the event. He was not there. So whatever he put out on his Facebook wall was simply based on a report he also received on the ground.
Are you certain he was not there?
Yes, my information is that he was not there. He was nowhere there. But today, the entire country has been moved to pass judgment and condemn the honorable MP of actually being complicit simply because of a Facebook post that Erastus Donko decided to put on his wall. But mind you, he's one gentleman who has been very spirited as far as the fight against illegal mining is concerned, Erastus, and you cannot take that away from him. Indeed, he's been an instrumental member of that fight, and it predates this government. And for many of us, he needs to be commended. But it does not also mean that whatever comes from Erastus Donko is the gospel truth. Indeed, if you go back to his own Facebook wall, there are instances that
something that he said.
No, please. There are instances that the same Erastus has put out information, and in less than 24 hours, he has come. Go back to his Facebook wall to apologize for the report he earlier posted on his Facebook networks, because according to him, further investigations reveal certain things to him. I have a number of such posts on my phone here. So we must be careful in this country. The way we are quick to condemn people based on media reports. If it was an investigation carried out by IOCO or the CID, and the reports are out, the assumption would have been that, look, the individual said MP would have been spoken to. So we would have had both sides, and we would have been in our right to proceed to make our own deductive reasoning and conclusions based on the outcome of the reports.
By journalists, which has assisted or led us to to carefully investigate matters of this nature.
Brilliant. So the post of Erastus
also help.
I don't disagree. The post of Erastus should be seen in that light as intended to help the state authorities, but it should not be mistaken as though indeed the said gentleman, that is the honorable MP, was actually complicit. He has also given us his side of the
All right.
of what happened. So it is important for us to engage in a way that at the end of the day, this is something we all must condemn. I'm talking about the fight against illegal mining, but in the condemnation, we must be careful and we must appreciate that people still also have reputational rights to protect. And so let us give them the opportunity to be heard. The MP has presented his side of the story. Let the CID go ahead with their investigations. And if at the end of the day he's found culpable, be rest assured that those of us seated around this table would ensure and will call for sanctions to be meted out against him, both by the Speaker of Parliament and on behalf of the Republic as well.
Okay, I'm going to ask, I'm going to come to you, Nanaya, but I think first we should listen to Erastus, because aside his Facebook page post that he put out, he's also been talking about the matter on whether or not he was present when it happened, or his account of exactly what happened in Shidim on Saturday morning. I want us to listen to him, and then I'll come to you, Nanaya.
Case over the weekend. Let me speak to him. Mr. Saradonko, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
I have seen what you wrote on Facebook. For purpose of those on radio who may not have followed what you wrote, you narrated what transpired on Saturday, and you added pictures and videos of what happened. Now, based on everything you know from the information you picked up, Can you tell us how this degenerated to the extent that soldiers had to be rescued by policemen in Shidiam?
Well, so Naimos and I, we do communicate. So whenever they are on operation, I'm privy to what happens on those operations. I'm also privy to some visuals from the operation and what happens at every given time. And so, per my investigation, the commander himself, normally, he doesn't go on all the operations with the soldiers. But this time around, he was on one of the beats. And his attention was drawn to what was going on, that activity by the Fidium Road. And so they stopped and went to inquire. And upon inquiring, they found out that it was a gold processing area, contrary to law. In fact, what they were doing there was more dangerous than the kind of mining that we see and report every single day. And this is why. They were doing what we call leaching. Leaching is done with cyanide or certain acids. What they do is that they buy the tailings. The tailings is the residue from mining activity, the ones that they are supposed to throw away. But research has indicated that 70% of gold can still be recovered using that method involving cyanide. And so they dig a pit and they use polythene bags to line the inside of the pit, and they pour in the acid and the tailings, they mix and they do the processing there. This is hazardous and very dangerous to the environment. And that is what they found them doing there. In fact, they seized some of the acid material and the chemicals they were using. And so they arrested the men.
Bringing you bits of it as we go, especially his comments about what happened when the Member of Parliament arrived and what he said also about Honorable Collins Dowda as well. We'll bring that to you. But from what he has just said, he was not present at the venue of the incident. It's based on his investigations and what he was told by the NIMOS team. Nana Yausapong, what does this clash and all of the information we have gathered tell you about our commitment to this fight against Galamsey?
No, it's simple. The apprehension and prosecution of financiers and backers, I call them backers, of these groups of galamseyers and illegal miners, all right, would send a very strong signal to the entire of the country that indeed those who are involved in the continuous destruction of our environment will not be condoned. In simple language. And when you would want to define what financiers and backers are, my English might not be right. Into me mechanic tree. Oshen kutupa.
Oshen what?
Oshen kutupa. Those the influences.
Okay.
You know, sometimes when you go to the stadium and the athletes are running, they perform better when you have the supporters at the back and they are cheering you. Go and come, nothing would happen. They are worse off than the people who are involved in the Galamsey themselves. And please, we ought to be able to identify certain elements which occurred. I wasn't there. Now, the night of the day it happened, I got a call from one of our people in Fidium, and let it be on record. I have worked in that area for close to 2 years.
Okay.
And now, I I do not think the NP, the gentleman, Ado, can exonerate himself from what had happened.
Why?
It was a beautiful scenario how he appeared to have been going for a funeral at that moment. And it was a beautiful coincidence that he didn't call Collins Dawda any other day, but on that very day to invite him to a funeral which was ongoing. You had the invitation to the funeral. You didn't call the MP no other day. On the day when you were on your way, you've gotten to the constituency, going to the funeral grounds, and you are calling your senior colleague to come and accompany you to a funeral?
You don't believe him?
Why would I believe such a story? And let it be on record. Nobody is compelling him. I read his statement, the first paragraph, that he's being compelled. Who is compelling him? Nobody is compelling him. I will not believe his story as against a legally established body that is in to fight Galamsey.
Have you heard from NIMOS? So which is a legally established body?
We've heard from the Ghana Police Service.
About the fact that
Well, you spoke for close to 10 minutes. I didn't interject. Please.
I respect that,
I can
but
give
it
you a
doesn't
pen
mean
and
that
paper.
I should proceed on the
No,
basis
please,
of
no.
conjecture.
If not, this conversation will not be nice.
Don't proceed on the basis.
I'm proceeding on it. I think I'm.
No, you said against, and I'm asking you a simple question.
Right,
Whether
I said
you
I don't have to expose my source of information.
Go ahead.
I respect that. You can proceed.
At least from the videos we saw, the NIMOS team was in a half region. And information reaching me establishes the fact that the director of operations was part of the team because he needed to locate a place for that permanent deployment they had spoken about during the encounter with the civil society organizations with the president. And so they are going around identifying locations to establish these deployments, to station them permanently so that they can deal with the matter. Now, from the accounts I have, where they saw the gentleman was not so far from the roadside.
Yeah.
And so any moving individual would see the activities of these illegal miners there. And he wants to do his job. They want to arrest these persons. Then to inquire whether or not they have the right to be there, and whether or not whatever activity they are undergoing is legal or not legal. You understand me? If you are an MP and you have been called whatsoever, whenever, whether you saw them or you were called, what you ought to have done was to have followed the right procedure. Now,
according to his account, he asked that it be taken to the police station. And he even called the Zongo chief to assist.
Let me tell you this. This was an afterthought. Are you telling me that the over 600 people you saw just came in from their houses, dressed with sticks and some with machetes, just because they had heard? And some of us know Hwidiam very well. We know from Achensua, Hwidiam, and Kassim, we know those places very well. You can't easily just walk and find people mobilized. No. I have said that this ought to be investigated. You don't go to a place. Let's put this right. Did he have any right to even have confronted the director of operations?
He says that he saw that there was chaos.
What chaos?
And so he called Honorable Collins Dawda to inform him, who subsequently told him to go and inquire.
Is Collins Dawda a police?
Well,
if you have identified or you
area.
sense police, I mean, if you are telling me that the executive is different from the member of parliament, to what influence did he even have? It took the Zongo chief. Per his testimony, it took the Zongo chief. It tells how uninfluential they are. If it had to take a Zongo chief, the most, an opinion leader, if it has to take a pastor, a Zongo chief, or a traditional ruler.
But the member of parliament was not in the country.
So the first thing he should have done was to have gone to the police to report that I identify chaos here.
So he should have driven on without stopping.
To what extent?
I mean, realistically, let's
be realistic.
Have a fair analysis of the situation.
I'm being very
The member
fair.
of parliament, he was driving down the road and saw chaos.
When there is chaos here, Do you first call in your security or you go and look for your general manager and call him?
Oh, you're asking me?
Of course, we have a conversation.
No, this is a different situation. You're driving down the road as a member of parliament.
I am not.
And you have just been on the phone with the member of parliament of that area.
Which
just
I doubt,
been on the phone with him.
Of course.
That's what he said. That's what he said. And then you see that there's chaos in his constituency. So you just say, oh, I've seen this. And he says, oh, just go and see what's happening. You don't think that is a possible scenario. You think it's all a cooked up story.
And so at the site, all of a sudden you find a gentleman called Alex driving in. You find another person who was in a Range Rover coming.
Alex is the alleged owner of the site.
Yes.
Who was
and then
called
you find
to come.
another person
so that's a different
in
thing.
the Range Rover also drive in all of a sudden. And then when they inspect their cars, you are able to find some of these things that they found. And you think that it was just a mere coincidence.
You think he's connected to all of that?
Let's join them together. And let's be real and honest. I put on my social media, I said that when it happened and I heard it, I said the Speaker of Parliament would have to do us a favor. He doesn't have to wait for the police to write to him. This is a national fight. Yes, indeed. The President had demonstrated his political will to the fight of Galamsey. No two ways about it. In terms of policy, in terms of infrastructure. The other item has to do with dealing with the kingpins. And this would be an example of dealing with the kingpins. If an MP would have the boldness to confront the NAMO's operations director, to question him, then what would the minister do? All we are saying is that we need to discourage persons who think they have power and persons who think they are closer to power and are influential. If indeed we would want to fight Galamsey, having the policies, having the laws, having the infrastructure would amount to nothing if these influencers, these financiers and kingpins are not dealt with. And this would be an example. Of course, I agree. He's an MP, a legislature, not part of executive. I totally agree. But he's a member of the National Democratic Congress. And President Mahama had stated categorically, and I do not doubt him, I do not doubt his political will. Because he said it and he was emphatic. MPs are a branch of government. And if his governance will be held properly, the work and activities of these MPs are a part of it. And I still stand by the fact that, listen, the gentleman had not any right to have confronted the director of operations. NEMOS has been established.
Okay.
And you have the evidence that he confronted him.
Okay.
That is what you should leave for the investigative bodies to handle. Myself and you.
Then we shouldn't comment.
Kind of comment.
No, I am not above it. I'm not above
on what basis,
it. For this matter,
on what basis do you? What evidence do you have to suggest that indeed there's evidence?
When I'm talking, you interject.
But
okay.
What is your evidence that he has acted?
So what is your evidence of your contribution to this?
So let the
you don't know who and who don't know. Say you don't know.
To tell us that there was a confrontation.
So tell me you don't know. But I.
So how did you know?
How did I know? Why should I tell you my source?
Sometimes let us respect.
Okay, you have a source that told you that was.
I've never disrespected any viewer.
No, but what is why you are doing?
But what are you doing? You sat here and narrated a story you don't even know about. I even wonder if you were in town when it happened.
You have a source that told you that there was a confrontation.
And I'm saying that there was a confrontation.
And the NIMOS boss.
There was a confrontation.
I've been in town for some time.
For the handcuffs to be removed, which the NIMOS boss declined politely.
And this was a request from the Member of Parliament?
From the Member of Parliament.
Okay.
And I still see sometimes some of these security matters ought to come to the front. We don't have to protect people when they cannot be protected.
Okay.
Why? What was he doing at the site at the moment?
Okay. He was going for a funeral, that's what he says. But let's come to Dr. Koba.
You see, where the funeral was and the site.
Do you know which funeral he was going to?
So, and he was no close. And if you read his testimony, I think point 9 or point 10, he was talking about the fact that they went to the police station and then the road was blocked and now they were at the police station. And talk him. You read from the point 8. I don't know if you can project it. Okay. Then we can analyze the statement. Okay. From point 9, I think they were in points. Point 9, 10, 11.
Okay, I'll read it.
The the story does not fall in line.
I'll read it for the benefit of our viewers. Let's come to Dr. Skoba. How does all of this strike you?
Well, good morning again. Sorry for being late.
Great to have you.
Listening to all this, and since the story broke, I'm beginning to think that from where we've come from, there's really a need to get away from the seeming competition to score political points with regards to Galamsey. We really need to get away from that. Of course, that applies to other things that government is doing to deal with the economy and all that. But especially with regards to Galamsey, when we have situations like this, it's so important that the political contestations get minimized. You see, this thing about what happened and the context of facts is taking away our need, is getting in the way of our need to be concerned about operational coordination, the need for intelligence, the need for community support, things that are fundamentally needed for us to succeed in the fight. We are not going to be successful just because NDC has been better than MPP over the matter of Galamsey. No. We're going to be successful if we have a package of policies, an approach to the problem that's well coordinated, backed by intelligence and all that, and that has community support. The criminal justice system, I am so sure that among the Galamseyers who we are referring to as thugs, among them were people who have been arrested before and have been released on bail. There are systems, we have to look at the criminal justice system and tool it up to support the fight against Galamsey.
How?
Special courts.
For Galamsey?
Yes. We need to do things differently to get results.
More decisively. We need to see things, we need to see punishment, actionable things happen. I agree with you. I can't help but agree with that.
So I think that this contest, this political contest, is noise in the face of the real challenges that we have in terms of Galamsey. It gets in the way.
The Mahama administration has started out and set out some plans to seriously combat this menace. I don't know if you'd still say there's a political contest like during this administration.
Listen, let's assume. Let's assume without admitting that the MP or even both of them are complicit. Assume so. So what?
So there's a problem with leadership.
Leadership?
Yes.
Who is leading this fight?
If the member of parliament is complicit, then that empowers the people, the community people, to do what they did.
Listen, like this morning, I'm sure we're going to get to that topic about Sam George and what he said in the past with regards to cyber security and all that. Look, what Sam George does now is subject to what cabinet says he should do. But you see, we go nitpicking and looking for points to score, in this political contest. I think that the president is committed to fighting galamsey. I think we have all seen him show that commitment. I think he has put in place the apparatus to do that. I think we are moving on. There are issues, as I've mentioned, there are issues of coordination, intelligence, going after the kingpins, community support. There are issues that need to be refined, we need to look at and refine going along. I think that we do not need this political bantering, this back and forth about who is better at fighting galamsey. And, because, look, so far as I'm concerned, whether kingpins are NDC or NPP, I do not care. I just want them gone after.
I think, Doc, that's what everybody wants.
Yes.
But the reason these political actors are being fingered or even called or mentioned is because of the conversation about the fact that if people in leadership are fingered and they are complicit, and the laws which apply or the president himself does not take any decisive actions towards making sure or ensuring that they are punished, or at least throw his voice or his weight behind, such punishments, then the people at the lower level, the people in the pit, those people who are actually the pawns in the entire the grand scheme of things, would not think that there are real punishments to be meted out. Because for now we see, they're arrested, they're rounded up, they're taken to the police station and so on. But the main actors, the financiers, the kingpins as you call them, are still at large.
You see, I agree with you totally. Listen, as a lawyer, I was even embarrassed how quickly many people, including journalists, jump to a conclusion that Mr. Asare Donko was there. The guy in his own report says that he is in touch with them.
Yeah.
And so he knows what is going on. He never said he was there. But because of this divide that we have about who is right or wrong with regards to galamsey, many of us, this morning, since last night, I've been listening to reports as if the guy was there. He wasn't. And one report referred to the people who were following the MP as thugs. These are Ghanaians. Who sits in a living room in Accra and refer to people he hasn't seen as thugs? See, the politicization of an issue that is, really getting at the foundations of our society. We need to get away from this politicization of galamsey and begin to support the efforts that the leadership is making to resolve this. If any of us has issues, I think that the president has shown that he is ready to listen, whether it's a state of emergency or how to tool up the NIMOS, and then he's shown a readiness to listen. I think that my message this morning, my gospel, is that we should get away from this NDC, MPP, whatever, this thing about, who is who in terms of supporting. We should use intelligence, get who is behind, who is financing these things. And if we do that, and if they are MPP so be it. If they are NDC, so be it. CPP, who cares? The fact of the matter is that we need to fight this, and we should do it as much as possible and get rid of this political noise, so far as I'm concerned.
Now, we've seen, Hamza.
I think that, first of all, I do not entirely disagree with the part of Doc on the fact that there's a need for us to tone down the political context. But you see, I have always argued, I think that I've made that point also on this platform, that political context in its entirety is not bad. The National Democratic Congress, in the last election, understood clearly that one of the pivotal concerns of the Ghanaian people had to do with the issue of illegal mining. And so we would not be perturbed if the new patriotic party should decide to do a comparison of that fight. Because indeed, it was one of the reasons why people voted the MPP out of office. And they expect so much from the National Democratic Congress and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. So we will not run away from that political contest in terms of our record. That is the only way we can truly serve the good people of this country, for them to appreciate that there's a difference between the National Democratic Congress and the MPP when it comes to the fight. And if we fail in that fight and the MPP, the people reach the conclusion that indeed the MPP did better, the people would be, based on that conclusion, decide to bring them back. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, Doc. And I think that point needs to be made, because that is the only way we can actually begin to meet the aspirations of the Ghanaian people as political parties. It is very, very crucial. We should not take away that right from the Ghanaian people. Secondly, again, on the main concerns my brother raised, we must be clear that as a government, if at the end of the investigations, the MP is actually identified as being complicit, and the CID is able to adduce evidence to that effect, this government will not have any problem sanctioning or emboldening our state institutions to act in accordance with their acts, establishing them, to ensure that at least some measure of accountability is brought. We will not run away from that. But it does not also mean that because this government is committed to the fight against illegal mining, we will engage in activities intended to undermine the rights of the very Ghanaian people that we seek to protect, simply because of a media report that is not grounded yet in fact or any form of investigation. And that is where we are worried, especially those of us who are interested in the legalities of this issue. Now, so we must be careful. NIMOS as an institution has not stated anywhere that the said MP confronted them. Absolutely not. We have not heard from NIMOS as far as this discussion is concerned. No. We have only heard from a report filed by a journalist who claims to have had information because of the work he does with NIMOS that this was what happened. The CID's investigation will either confirm his side of the story or reject same. The CID's investigation will confirm the response of the MP or reject same. But until we reach that conclusion, it would be unfair to any intellectual analysis to sit around this table and proceed on the basis of conjecture and assumptions to declare somebody as being complicit. We must resist that temptation, Hamza, because it could be any of us.
Hamza, I would also have you know that we've heard from the Director of Communication at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, with whom NIMOS works. So even though NIMOS themselves have not put out a statement, we've heard from the Director of Communication.
And he has said that
and she is a lady, I'll get her name for her.
And she has said that the MP confronted the NIMOS team.
Share a very similar account to what Erasmus shared. All right. Okay. She didn't use the same words, but she conveyed the same message. Absolutely. So just to update you on the fact that
but that's what I'm saying, that it is not enough for us to sit on this table
to condemn him.
No, and draw conclusions that look, this person is guilty when the investigations are not over. And finally, I think that is important for me to respond to this bit of his concern about the MPs. My big brother is a member of parliament. When we go out,
who are you referring to?
Honorable Alhassan Suhuyini, Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways. In Tamale, all the MPs on weekends, they move to social events with their constituency executives and sympathizers. When you see them, it is mostly in the form of a convoy. The Honorable Haruna Idrisu does it. The late Murtala Mohammed, may his soul rest in peace, and I'm sure that the current MP for Tamale Central is also engaged in that. It is normal. And that is why I agree with Doc. So if the MP claims that he was attending a funeral and encountered something like that, it would have been irresponsible on the part of any serving MP to just drive past like that. Especially when what was going on appeared to have been a scuffle. So it was not irresponsible on the part of the MP to intervene if his account, on the condition that his account is true.
On condition that his
account is very, very important.
All
on
right.
condition that his account is true. But you see,
right.
I agree. You cannot refer to such people as thugs when there is no evidence supporting same.
The police refer to them as a mob.
No, a mob is acceptable. Okay. You can refer to them as a mob. And you see, that is why, because the police is an investigative arm, they understand the terms. That is why they are justified to refer to them as a mob. Because their activity was actually in the form of
organized.
Mob. Organized. So it is not the same thing as being taxed.
Okay.
That distinction needs to be made. But I can assure you that even if these people can be identified, the state will not protect anybody that is found on the wrong side of the law. But there is an important aspect we are not discussing. We are not discussing the ambit of how even community mobilization probably affects the entirety of the fight against illegal mining. That bit is lost in the discussion because we have decided to be moved by emotional attachment to complicity or otherwise of the member of parliament.
Hamza.
But this is a concern for us.
Yes.
If an entire community could mobilize the way they did to stand on the way of NIMOS, then it is something that is deeper. And that is the discussion we should be having. And how can we effectively engage communities to let them appreciate?
I was going to ask you a question, but you said you needed to come in for 5 seconds. And if you see from my notes, you can see here that I was going to ask you this question about community support and mobilization.
Brilliant.
As we keep talking about our joint national interest in combating this menace, we see time and time again community support and community mobilization in preventing the fight against Galamsey. And you're both from, well, you're not from
the mining area.
You're not from the mining area, but you've spoken about, or it's you've spoken about seeing Shidi.
He's lived there.
And how, Nanaya, and how you don't see people massing up all of a sudden. So for that to have been able to happen, then surely there was some work in the background. But let me just ask you the question.
Just before your question, let's face reality, dog. We all sat here some time back and we said that if we would be able to fight Galamsey as a nation, some persons ought to be held responsible and should push and should be held accountable for their actions. Number one, if we come into a district and we notice that Galamsey is still ongoing, it will be difficult for me to accept the fact that the district chief executive, whosoever, does not know about them. I do not need an investigation to tell me that. If you, the district chief executive, has no idea that Galamsey is ongoing and I'm able to identify, it means that you are not doing your work as a DCE. You should be fired. Number two, we called on all chiefs in communities to be involved, and that if they have seen anything, they should draw NEMOS's attention to it, and we deal with it. And I remember, I even called on Menshia that within the Asante Kingdom, if any chief is found, just as the Asante Hene said, then we would be able to take it to Asante Hene, and then we would encourage him to distool that chief. We said it here. We said that if we find out that if there is any illegal mining activity going on in any district, and we find any BNI, Director of Police, whatsoever, there, and you have been there for more than months, and you tell me that you do not know about those activities, it means you are not doing your work. You should be fired. Look, did we agree on it? So you are an MP. You are driving past. Now, did the MP get there when the mob was there? No. So what was the confrontation about? And I am saying that when he got there and the people were arrested, the first thing he should have done was to go to the police and report. If he is able to tell me he has Colin Zauder's number and he spoke to him, he cannot tell me that as the MP, the region, it's 6 constituencies. What to me the 30 minutes share. He does not know the district commander's number. He does not have the regional commander's number. Does not know the operation director's number for the Ghana Police. He does have all their numbers.
He called the Zongo chief.
Now, you see, that is where I'm coming from. There was no mob at the moment. No people had gathered. The Nemos soldiers were 10, if the account is right. They had arrested these gentlemen, and you have seen it. So tell me the account where the mob started gathering. And from where I sit, I see that the MP influenced the mobilization of the people.
Alleged.
Well, these are jargons. Mob tags alleged, they are jargons. And I'm saying that at the moment, do you think it takes 30 seconds? Now, does it take 30 seconds for people to gather?
I don't think so.
And how many minutes did he stand with the director of operations?
According to Erasmus, they were there for hours.
We are all in to support the president's willingness and readiness to fight Galamsey. Not because he's a president, because whatever he does or whatever is happening with Galamsey affects me, affects Doc, affects you. It will get to a point you won't get water to drink in this country. And that is why everybody is crying. So at that moment, there was no way the MP, in this heat, and his actions is gone down to affect the efforts of the president and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and now acting Minister for Environment, in the fight against Galamsey. That is all we are saying. And we are saying that the MP should be held responsible, not without investigations. Nobody is saying without investigations. We only have questions and he has to answer us. I am surprised that we would sit here and think that it takes 30 seconds to mobilize people in Hwidium. Have we so soon forgotten 2017 what happened to Major Mahama? Just September, October. Have we forgotten what almost happened in Manson Kwanta? Look, we demonize these bodies that are willing and are risking their lives to fight Galamsey. We demonize them. So do you think that the people, the soldiers who went through what they went through just these past days, if nothing is done against the perpetrators of that action, they would have the motivation to go back there?
And who are the perpetrators? Just because we want to satisfy that ambit. Exactly. That is why we should allow the investigation by the police to take shape. Then the culprits are found. If the MP is found, then we will deal with him.
All right.
That's all.
But
the way you are going is very dangerous.
No, it's not dangerous.
For even fundamental human rights in this country. It's dangerous.
You should sue me.
No, I'm not talking in relation to the MP.
It's more dangerous than what
so tomorrow, if I wake up and I hear that there's an encounter between you and somebody, and the person has accused you of attacking him, I should believe it.
Gentlemen, let's listen to Doc.
I said that there have been policies that have been made.
3 sentences.
Infrastructure have been put in place. People have been put together, secretariats whatsoever. What is left is our ability to be able to deal with the financiers and the backers of these activities.
I agree. I agree fully. We all agree.
Yes.
All right.
I can't disagree with my brother.
Okay.
You know, however, he said something very, I've been thinking about that. Why should you take 10 soldiers? Given the situation, why would you, if we had intelligence on what is happening we have a DC there, we have chiefs, we have all manner of people, BNI, they are there. How can you take? So there were 10 soldiers.
So they were not there on that operation.
Yes, operations. They were there to identify a location for their permanent deployment.
See, I'm not a security analyst. I'm just a policy person.
Yes, so the 10 soldiers were not there for the purpose of stopping that particular illegal mining incident.
They were on
a different operation.
They were looking for a place to locate their permanent deployment.
What was happening, and then they went there. So I think the question that has been asked is why did they not get backup, reinforcement helicopter, I don't know.
Yeah, so
but
why,
they remained the 10 until the end.
If the 10 were there for a particular purpose, and they realized that things were getting out of hand, how do you escalate the situation? How do you bring on more people? So, there are operational issues and the rest that need to be to look out. And my fear is that we are not looking at those issues. We are all focused on what Honorable Collins Dowda and Honorable Ado, that's his name, Ado.
Yeah.
What they did.
But that's not something we can overlook, though.
I'm not saying we should overlook it. But the fight against Galamsey will not turn on politicians. It will turn on community support. It will turn on, operational accuracies. It will turn on a lot of things that we need to put together in a coordinated fashion to deal with it. Look, we are not saints. I believe that both sides, all the parties, including UP, there will be Galamseyers in there.
We don't want Galamseyers.
No, but they won't tell you. They won't tell you they are Galamseyers. So are we going to say that it's only a party that is squeaky clean, without any Galamseyers or any supporters of Galamsey that can fight Galamsey? We need to be realistic and deal with what's on the ground, rather than this, again, needless, I think, contests, and we turn everything into, this discussion of.
So on the back of what you've said,
I think the political will has been shown.
How do we get community support in the fight against Galamsey?
Engage them.
You've heard a lot of if you like, plans of this government to fight Galamsey. We've seen that over 270 licenses of small-scale miners have been revoked, and some other major steps towards the fight. But if this incident shows us anything at all, it shows us that we need community support on the right side, because this community massing up like this, over 600 people, according to the police report, in defense of the Galamseyers, leaves a lot to be desired. We need to be very worried. How do we get or conscientize community members to be interested in the fight rather than the support, knowing that it is also their source of livelihood, which it's been increasingly difficult to show them?
Now, first of all, let us stop calling people thugs. They are not thugs. 600 people or so that we are talking about, they are Ghanaians.
I'm tempted to look up the meaning of the word thugs.
They're not thugs.
That's what I've just picked up. The tax and mods.
So a thug is a person generally defined as a violent, brutal, lawless person involved in criminal activities such as assault, robbery, intimidation, and historically associated with.
I don't know who. I don't know who made us so pure to be able to just call people that we have never met.
They were vandalizing vehicles.
No, my brother, holding stones. Look, however we look at this, without the support of the communities, if the communities do not participate in this fight, we are going to lose the fight.
Just briefly, I think that the government already appreciates the role of the communities in the fight. And if you listen to the minister responsible for lands and natural resources, the Honorable Bua, he indicated from the word go, when he was appointed, that the first step was stakeholder engagement. And as part of that stakeholder engagement initiative, some consultations are ongoing with many of our traditional leaders and youth groups. That stakeholder engagement birthed the nature of recruitment into the Blue Water Guards, because many of them, like you indicated, their livelihoods depend on it. That didn't stop there. The government also decided to roll out what we call the Outcomes There program. That intends, as part of the package, to make it feasible for many of these young people who for now are defending it because of their livelihood, to have another alternative way of living in these communities. And so it is just a matter of time and continuous engagement and conscientization. When they begin to see the fruits of many of these interventions, I'm pretty much convinced that architecture of support for illegal mining by the youth would necessarily be diffused. And so it is just a matter of time, like I indicated. We need to be careful. We need to be coordinated in terms of that fight.
Do you think that the gentleman in the video that we have just shown you should be arrested by the police?
Absolutely. If the investigations, you see, and now that is one important fact. Even me, if tomorrow I have any information to the effect that the MP was actually indeed complicit, I would be duty bound, first as a citizen of the Republic of Ghana, and most importantly, too, as a supporter of this government who is convinced that His Excellency President Mahama's efforts towards illegal mining is sincere. I would be duty bound to report the said MP and provide and make those evidence available to the Criminal Investigations Division of the Ghana Police Service. It is important. But in doing so, I am just cautioning all of us, because the fight cannot be won on the basis of falsehood. Well, that is one thing people are missing. The only way we can truly win the battle is if we ground it on the basis of truth. So it's simply because a media personality has put out a story does not make it the truth. It will make the fight a ridicule if we do not try to ascertain the truth or otherwise of many of these publications. And that is why I am passionate this morning. If truly we are concerned about the menace of Galamsey, then there is the need for us to ensure that any activity that is intended to support government efforts, that activity must be rooted in the truth and nothing more. Doc, you know that nothing built on falsehood will succeed. And I want this government to succeed on the Galamsey fight. And so I will not proceed on the basis of conjecture and assumptions that we have not been able to verify. One-sided information, and proceed on the basis of that to call on the president, who is also limited by the Constitution, to simply discipline a member of parliament when the CID and the Ghana Police Service are already mandated under our laws to do so. If we create a situation because of the fight against Galamsey, that the presidency can just sit in his office and begin sanctioning members of parliament who are not his appointees, do you know what will happen in this country? Well, the kind of lawless republic we will be building. But I agree with Nana Yao. If indeed that site is deemed to be an illegal site, and we have a district chief executive there, then it will be prudent, and the calls will be placed appropriately. If the Minister for Local Government now calls on the said district chief executive to explain to him why this was going on without his knowledge, these are legitimate demands to be made. These are legitimate demands to be made.
And the question is,
and
even for the local authority, even outside of the DCE, the chiefs, the traditional leaders. I mean, I don't know how Shamfans
on this table, we have agreed that now many of them are complicit. Some of them are complicit.
You've got to hear
that is why the stakeholder engagement is important.
Excavators are not silent machines. You would hear that there's something going on.
What is this?
Anyway, let's talk about the. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But let's talk about the swiftness of the police in also dealing with these issues. We saw the chaos at the police station. At the police station, the mob had gathered at the police station, but we haven't heard of any arrests. We've seen the faces of the people in the video. I mean, if you watch the video enough times, you recognize some of them if you see them in town.
Oh, they know them?
Yes.
They are locals.
Yes, they are locals. What is your assessment of the swiftness of the police in dealing with this issue?
Look, as a student of civil rights, one of the things that I learned in school was that the criminal justice system can carry you just so far. At a certain point, civil unrest, you cannot use police to fight civil unrest. When citizens are determined to vindicate what they think are their rights, at a certain point, you will have to double the number of policemen in that constituency to deal with, I think that we need to have community participation. The criminal justice system is just a component in terms of how to fight this. We are not going to be able to. We are not going to fight this thing and be successful with police power or soldiers. We need to engage the people. We have to stop calling them thugs. We have to understand that that is where they eat, and understand them, and explain to them, and work with them toward alternative livelihoods. If we don't do that, we will be repeating these stories
Doc,
over and over.
I appreciate your knowledge on how community engagement works. You're a traditional leader, are you?
Yes.
You're a traditional leader.
Yes.
Now, a very small one. A small one.
Yes.
There are no small traditional leaders. So a lot of the chiefs have been said to be complicit. A lot of the chiefs have been fingered. Surely, if there's galamsey happening on your land, you will know that is happening, and these incidents go unreported, perhaps because the chiefs are part of it. So since we have you here, perhaps you can talk directly to your fellow traditional leaders.
I think Nananum and those who are sitting on stools, big ones, small ones, on skins, we are aware that our efforts are crucial. It's very important that we are involved in this. I think that in the Ashanti region, I think Menchia has been on the forefront. Yes. I know that chiefs have been distilled for being complicit in this fight. I think that, again, it comes down to community engagement. We should talk to all of us together. When a party chief, a party leader is arrested by the police or the CID and all, they're invited, and you have a mob following him, we think they are thugs. You don't know what he does for them. You don't know the people who follow the party leaders to Iyoko or to BNI or to CID. You do not know what he does for them. He might have paid people's school fees, and you don't know. So I think that it is talking to people, community engagement, the chiefs, the family heads, the assemblymen, grassroots engagement. That is part of what is going to get us where we are going.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Gentlemen, final words. Nanaya.
No. I believe that we need to trigger the use of soft power in this fight.
What is that?
That is, you asked about the community involvement.
Yeah.
And so how to be able to bring them in, persuade them to understand that there is another life they can live without these galamsey activities. The police indeed acted swift, and for the arrest, this morning I was having a conversation with somebody on phone, and he's a security personnel, and I told him, I said, listen, you can't go and arrest these people immediately.
Why?
You can't go and arrest them immediately. And the local police cannot arrest them. Probably they would need the regional police command to be involved, and they would have to probably pick them one after the other, those that are identified. They have to pick them in a way that it will not trigger any more unrest in that community. That doesn't mean they cannot be arrested, but in another form that the people themselves will not even realize that these individuals are being picked. Now, I want us as Ghanaians to always deal with issues of galamsey with certain memory. Major Mahama, our 8 gallant men that we lost. The children in these galamsey communities that are being birthed with disabilities and deformations. The water that is being destroyed. We should always deal with these issues of galamseyers with these things in mind. And as I've stated already, the president in October, when he met the CSOs, exhibited and demonstrated to Ghanaians his political will and readiness to fight it. But until the financiers and the backers are dealt with, whatever policy, whatever infrastructure, whatever program he's putting in place will not survive it.
All right, Nanaya, thank you so much. Hamza, final words.
Now, like I indicated in my earlier submission, I am confident in His Excellency President Mahama's government's ability to fight the menace of illegal mining. Here, we are dealing, my brother just made references to the importance of soft power. Who better amplifies that importance than His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama himself? We all know that he has discharged himself creditably as far as our political space is concerned, and has always been that bridge where different political views can rally around, irrespective of the political party you belong to. Indeed, at a point in time, somewhere in 2016, he received red flags from his own political party for being that accommodating and understanding of opposition views. And so that soft power and the relevance of it in the fight against galamsey is already a character trait of the man leading us. And I'm convinced that he will deploy it appropriately. But in doing so, we must also be sure to support his government with nothing but the truth, devoid of emotions, devoid of sensationalism. Despite the fact that this is an important fight, the only way we can win it is not to sensationalize it, is not to make it an emotional roller coaster, but to actually be interested in the truth of many of these happenings. That is the only way that the president can be able to get the appropriate remedy to deal with the menace of illegal mining.
Hamza Sweeney, NDC Communication Team Member, Dr. Josiah Koba, former lecturer, Gimpa, senior lecturer at Gimpa and private legal practitioner, and Nanaya Sapong, Deputy General Secretary of the newest party in the country, the United Party.
My phone. Webpage. You know the president is casting the for the big push project in the northern region.
Today?
As part of the, yes, it's today. I thought that you would have done something
today. Okay, all right.
In the northern region,
I'm sure our regional correspondents will bring us the live reports from there. Anyway, thank you for watching Big Issues on TV3 Newday. I'm sorry I did not read your messages. You would understand why that was not possible, but we can still continue the conversation online. Now, perk up your day with a Milky Way, rich, smooth taste of Perk biscuits. Perk Milk Shortcake, it's a pure delight. If you haven't tried it, please try it today at any time of the day, morning, afternoon, or evening. Still to come, we have more for you on the show. Sports is next. And yes, Accra House of Oak is definitely going to whip that plantain team, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, this Saturday at the Accra Sports Stadium during the Super Clash. More information coming soon on the show. Stay tuned.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
23! What? My friend.
Kevin, be a good boy. Focus on your studies and don't follow girls with longer life than their future.
Your son is under VIP security and I'm the head of domestic affairs. Johnny Mami, don't be optical. Guys, we need to boss in my mother room. Ma, Johnny Mami, what? Milko Tono. Boy, me more feeling what?
Okay, senior, thank you.
Yeah, you think it's free? Major Gary and Katia, sugar. Yeah, Mami no nyase mwate. Survivor pack. Hey, that a beating. To make it to boss. H&N Gary. Wait now. So ya Gary. For me. Oh yeah. Chapamas.
You have the choice to pick and choose. So ya choco Gary. Boys and girls, why I see?
What they going for here?
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to Abuja, Nigeria, and one of Africa's most hotly anticipated events. More than 8,000 delegates coming from all across Africa.
This is a moment to reflect on our shared resilience.
The world has to pay more.